Now, I've been lucky enough to help and communicate with thousands of you at this point who are aspiring to be first-time entrepreneurs. But there's a few different mistakes that I see people routinely make that really just bum me out, if I'm being completely honest, because I know that if they don't overcome these issues or overcome these mistakes that they're making, the chances of them actually succeeding are significantly less. Hey, what's going on, guys? Marvin here. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, we talk e-commerce, entrepreneurship, and self-development. So if you're into that kind of thing, then just make sure to subscribe and turn on your bell notification so you guys don't miss any future videos. Now that you're subscribed, let's get right into the video. Now, like I said, we're going to talk about a few mistakes that I see new Amazon sellers making on a routine basis. This is not a one or two different people doing it. This is a very large amount of people that always do one of these things, if not multiple of the things that I'm going to be talking about this video. Now, these mistakes are going to be completely different than any of the videos that I've talked about. These mistakes aren't going to be like product research mistakes or supplier research mistakes or anything like that. Those things can be easily overcome. They can easily be altered and improved so that you guys don't have to worry about that anymore. These mistakes are done by a lot of people, and it's more of a personal issue that is being reflected on their business, which is holding them back or stopping them completely from even attempting to have some success with this business. So those are the types of mistakes that we're going to be focusing on in this video, because I'm a big believer that your personal success will not surpass your level of personal development. If you can overcome these major issues, you're going to have a much easier time finding success, not only with this business, with anything that you're trying to do. And again, this isn't just a one or two off kind of situations. This is done by a lot of people. Okay. All right. So let's get right into the mistakes. And the first one is getting hung up on something and never overcoming it. And I've seen this happen in so many different aspects of the business, but different people latch on to different things. But we're gonna use the example of a website. Sometimes you'll see people that get latched onto the idea that they have to have a website, whether it's a fully functional website or a value proposition website, whatever it may be, but they get so sucked into the idea that they have to have this website before they can do anything else. Then once they get hung up on that, they never overcome it. It takes them months and months and months to ever finish that website. A website, if that's something that you want to do first thing right when you start, even before you start contacting suppliers, that can be done in a day. So if you're putting this off for months and months at a time, or 6 months or even longer, then you need to reevaluate the root cause of that problem. Is it the actual website and your lack of knowledge of building a website? Or is it just a crutch that you're using to prevent you from, let's say, calling suppliers or actually growing this business in any degree? So you need to look at what the problem is and why you're using that as a crutch to never get past it. All of these obstacles can be easily overcome with a little effort and perseverance. But a website, because we're using that as an example, shouldn't take you more than a day, maybe a couple of days at most. But I've seen this done with so many other weird little Amazon tasks that you have to get done. Maybe it's an account, maybe it's giving something to a supplier, or maybe it's whatever it may be. But it's these things that shouldn't take a long time, but people use them as a crutch to not put more effort in or not get things done, maybe because it's a fear that they're going to fail. I don't know what it is. It simply comes down to being self-aware. Are you putting this off for months and months at a time because you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do it? Or again, are you just using that as a crutch to hold you back from progressing in your business? Whatever it may be, you need to realize that for yourself and be self-aware enough to understand what's behind those actions that you're using. But this is very, very common. Very, very common, to the point where people put their Amazon businesses off for a year or 2 years at a time because they get hung up on something like this. All right, so mistake number 2 is that they overthink every single detail. Now, I'm all about being prepared. I think if you don't prepare, you're preparing to fail, right? That's how the saying goes. We used to have that saying in the academy. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right? So I'm a big proponent in coming prepared. But there's a difference from being prepared and paralysis by analysis. And I think that in this age of having an abundance of information is just growing rapidly, where you have so much information, you're watching every single channel over this specific business that you want to do. This person says this person says this person says this person says this, and you completely get paralyzed because you have no idea what to do and you're overloaded with that information. You just need to get the information that you need to get started and then get additional information along your way. But what I see a lot of people do is that either they get paralysis by analysis and don't ever start whatsoever, or they start overthinking what they're gonna have to do when they get to a certain point in their business. Right? So they start overthinking all of the tasks, all of the things they're going to have to worry about when they get to this point of their business, when they're not even close to that point in their business. And they should be focusing on step 1 and 2, and instead they're focusing on 10 and 12. You need to realize where you're at, focus on what you're doing in front of you, and obviously make sure things are in order, and then just take it one step at a time, from 1 to step 2 to step 3. But don't go from step 1 to what am I gonna have to do at step 50? And what are all the things I'm gonna have to have in order at step 50? You're not even close to there. So don't overthink that situation so much. But again, every single one of these mistakes is extremely common. Extremely common. Now, another thing that I see very specific to this overthinking mistake is that they overthink a task, right? A specific task. Not so much they get hung up on it, they just overthink that scenario and stress themselves out. Let's say contacting suppliers. So they get so hung up on contacting suppliers and what could potentially happen. What if they tell me no? What if they say they don't work with Amazon sellers? What if they don't have any profitable products? What if this? What if that? And to me, all I have to say is, who cares? Chances are they will tell you no. And if they tell you no, you call another supplier and those suppliers are going to tell you yes. Okay? But it doesn't matter. You're only going to call them to open up a wholesale account. Hopefully you've prepared and you know what to say and kind of navigate yourself through the phone. But if they tell you no, who cares? You call another supplier. And if that supplier tells you no, you call another supplier. And then that supplier will tell you yes. It's not that big of a deal. You just have to bite the bullet and just take that first step. Dial the phone, even if you're freaking out inside. Dial that phone and you'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, it's okay to overthink. It's okay to overthink a lot of details, but it's not okay to have them stop you from achieving your goals. Now, mistake number 3 is a big one. It is not even getting started. This actually blew my mind when I first started selling my course. Was you wouldn't believe how many people have purchased my course and not even watched the first lesson. And before I had a course and saw the back end, numbers of people viewing the course, who's going through all of it, who's going through 50%, I was blown away by how many people never even watched the first lesson. And this comes down to people waiting for a certain time, right? So I get this message a lot is, oh, I had this come up, or I had this come up, or I was waiting for this, or I was waiting for the stars to align in order to get started. And I hate to break it to you, that perfect moment, that perfect time when all the stars align and it is the perfect time for you to get started with your business doesn't exist. Never gonna happen. There will never be a perfect time for you to get started. You just have to realize what you want. Do you want to start this business or not? And if you do, then you will make time. You can always have a reason for why not to do something. It's very easy to find reasons to not do something. But if this is something you want and you're just putting it off because you're waiting for some more time off, or you're waiting for this to happen, you're waiting for this to happen, there's so much things that you can get done as groundwork for that specific moment. Maybe you're waiting to save up more money. Well, then there's a lot of things that you can do before that moment comes. But there will never be a perfect time to start. And this is very, very common. With that being said, if it is a major thing, like a family emergency or a financial emergency or anything like that, then yes, obviously take care of your business first, take care of your family first, take care of yourself first, and all of those things first. But if it is more so a thing of kind of a superficial day or something going on with work that you're just waiting for some more time off, or you're waiting for this or that, there will never be a perfect moment for you to get started. So if it's something like that, you just have to reevaluate what you want. Do you want to start this business or not? You don't have to start any business, but if you do, deep down, you want to start this business or any business, then you need to make sure you look at your life and see where you can fit it in. Because if this is something that you actually want, then just start. Just start. You don't have to dedicate 10 hours a day to it while you're working a full-time job. But yes, dedicate some time to it every single day so that you can get the ball rolling and get momentum going in your direction. Now, mistake number 4 is that somebody's going through the process and they just have very, very weak self-talk. Now, this is a big one for me. I am big on self-talk. I think that your self-talk and your personal thoughts are going to become your reality. And one thing that I've noticed is sometimes somebody will reach out to you and you can just tell by the way they've written that message or how they're communicating that they've already lost that battle in their minds before they've even gotten started. Their self-talk is just pouring through the messages. They'll come to you with a problem and you'll give them the solution that they're looking for. You give them the solution and they'll tell you why they can't do it, or why that's not the best option, or why that's not going to work, even though they're coming to you being the expert and giving them the solution because you have the experience with that particular problem. They'll still come to you with a rebuttal and a reason why they can't do it. Then you give them another solution or another option, and they'll come to you with another reason why they can't do it. Then you give them another solution, another option, and they'll come back with another rebuttal. And at that point, you just have to step back and ask yourself if this person even wants a solution, or are they just looking for an excuse to get out of doing the work? Don't lose the battle in your mind before you've even been able to reap the rewards of all of your effort. It's going to get tough. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. That is the beauty of entrepreneurship. It is not linear to success, whatever success is to you. There's ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And hopefully your ups and downs are in a gradual upward direction, getting you to your goal. But if you go into this business or anything that you're trying to do in your life with the mentality that this will not work for you, these results won't happen for you, this outcome isn't meant for people like you, then you've already lost. You're already losing. But the good news is that you can change all of this. None of these things are set in stone. It doesn't matter which of these problems you're dealing with or whatever problems you're dealing with, you can overcome every single one of them. You just have to make sure that you're self-aware enough to realize if you're making these mistakes or not, and then working actively to change it. Because like I said, your level of personal success will not surpass your level of personal development, which is another reason why I started making more of these personal development videos, because I want to help you on all angles. And sometimes you'll give people the same exact roadmap. One person will succeed, one person will not, right? Even though those roadmaps are going to the exact same information. So why is that? They have literally the exact same information. And that's because some people look at situations differently. Some people have a little bit more mental fortitude to persevere. If you have issues in your personal life or you have issues that you need to deal with, they're going to reflect in your business if you don't deal with them, if you don't work on, leveling yourself up and increasing your level of personal development. But these are some of the biggest mistakes that I see Amazon sellers make that are not your typical mistakes. Mistakes like these hold more sellers back than any other mistake they're gonna make within their business. Mistakes like product research, mistakes like supplier research, those things are minimal. Those things are easy to overcome. Mistakes like these that we went over in this video, this kills more sellers, more businesses, more future entrepreneurs than any other mistakes that you can think of that are more practical. But if you guys enjoyed this video, then let me know by liking the video. I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow. And if you guys want to see a step-by-step video on Amazon wholesale, so you guys can know the tactics behind everything that we talked about, then just make sure to watch the video that's gonna pop up on screen, and I will teach you everything that you need to know step by step.